Nikon is a brand name synonymous with professional stills photography, but in the world of video, not so much. Frankly, they're not really in the game. Nikon recognized this and last year bought Red, and Red have released two cameras with the Nikon Z mount, but there's been no Nikon branded cinema camera until now. But now they've just launched the ZR, their first in what they hope to be a line of cinema cameras. And because it's very important to Nikon that they make headway in this video market, they've come in with a very aggressively priced camera with a very high spec, which is going to raise a few eyebrows and hopefully will tempt, well, Nikon hope, will tempt a few people away from some of the other brands like Sony, Lumix and perhaps Canon. So what does this camera have about it which is so special? Well, let's have a look. Now, the first thing to say about the Nikon ZR is it shares a lot in common with the Z6 III stills camera. For a start, it has the same 24.5 megapixel partially stacked CMOS sensor. It uses the same ENEL15C batteries as the Z6, Z5 and so forth. So those coming from stills will find it an easy changeover. And of course, it has the Z mount, which is universal now to Nikon's mirrorless system, and it can take the full range of Nikon's Z series cameras, as well as other lenses with the appropriate adapter. But this is fundamentally a video camera, and it has Red's technology and Red influence all over it. And they've come in with a very competitive spec sheet. For example, it has three 12-bit RAW modes, including Red's RAW R3D NE RAW mode, NRAW, and ProRes RAW. It also shoots at 10-bit and 8-bit. It has a dual base ISO of 640 or 5000 and a dynamic range of 14 plus stops. It can shoot 6K video at 60 frames per second in RAW or 4K at 120 frames per second in RAW. And of course, it can shoot full HD at 240p. It supports three types of LUTs, 17, 33 and 65 point, and you can load up to 10 LUTs into the camera. These LUTs are not burned in. There are also four cinematic presets: cinematic, slow-mo, portrait and starscape, and 9 download presets like achromatic, film bias, bleach bypass, etc. On the audio front, the ZR is the world's first camera with in-camera 32-bit float audio. It features 3 MEMS mics and Ozo audio technology, and there's a choice of 5 directional pickup patterns and has a signal-to-noise ratio of 72 dB. Now, to go with the ZR, Nikon has launched a brand new microphone, the ME-D10, which features a built-in shock mount, and there's also a wind muffler that comes with it. Now, the ME-D10 also features a tally light to indicate when it's recording, which is a very, very welcome feature. Now, on the mic itself, there are a few controls. On the right-hand side, you've got controls for the brightness of the tally light. You can turn it down a bit lower, or you can turn it off altogether. And on the left-hand side of the mic, you've got directional controls for front, rear or omnidirectional in the middle there, and you've also got a switch, a focus and pure sound switch as well. And it comes with a wind muffler as well, which is elasticated, which just goes on like a ordinary sock. There you go. Now, since the ZR is aimed at a video audience, the camera features shutter angle as an alternative to the more traditional shutter speeds, and the range is from 5.6 to 360. The camera features Nikon's latest AF technology, which includes 9 types of subject recognition, and this one also features AF focus breathing compensation, which is important for video recording. Additionally, the ZR features 5-axis VR, which is a vibration reduction, and Nikon's image stabilization technology. Now, the ZR can shoot for up to 125 minutes of continuous recording when mains powered, or up to 95 minutes when battery powered. Now, you may notice this is a fanless design, and Nikon claims that it uses a very efficient heat dissipation technology to prevent the camera from overheating during long record times. The camera also offers streamlined workflow direct to frame I/O, which will be very popular for some users. As you'd expect from a Nikon, the ZR can of course shoot stills, and there's a dedicated switch there which switches between photo and video. Now, if you're shooting stills, the ZR features 7.5 stops of focus point VR, which is Nikon's VR technology by which the focus point is the pivot point for the image stabilization, which gives you much greater range of stabilization at lower shutter speeds. Now, one of the most impressive standout features of the ZR is this large 4-inch fully articulated touchscreen, which has a 3070K resolution, a brightness of 1000 nits, and DCI P3 color. This is apparently the largest screen in its class, and it's certainly pretty impressive. So far so good, but there are a couple of features on the camera which some users might find a little annoying. One of them is the fact that it only has a micro HDMI port instead of a full-size HDMI. And the second thing is that although it has a CF Express card slot, which goes in at the bottom, not on the side, the second card slot is micro SD, which some users may also find to be a surprising choice. And I believe this is probably done so that they could keep the camera small as possible while still allowing them to use the same batteries that people use from the Z6 III and Z8. And Nikon has designed the camera to be as small and light as possible, but that does mean there isn't really a hand grip to speak of, which is fine with smaller lenses like this 24-70 f4S, but when you start putting bigger, heavier lenses on there, it might not be very comfortable to hold for long periods of time without modification. So who is the ZR aimed at? Well, Nikon say there are three types of user. The first is the single shooter or content creator, your YouTubers. The second category is your commercial small business owner, such as wedding photographers. And the third category is production companies looking for a B camera or something that they can use to go along with a larger system. So that's the ZR in a nutshell. So first impressions, it's a really good first effort from Nikon. It's certainly going to disrupt the market. It offers a lot of specification for the money. There are a few things missing on there which will raise a few eyebrows and maybe put some people off buying it, and perhaps the sort of lack of a grip, the micro SD, the lack of full HDMI. But I guess that gives Nikon room to bring out a slightly higher spec version of the camera slightly later on. Meanwhile, those on a budget, it seems to offer, for the money, a great amount of specification, and that certainly will tempt a lot of people. And I think even if you're a Sony user, if you buy the adapter so that you can use E-mount lenses on there, it might tempt a few of those away to Nikon as well. So let us know what you think of this camera, first impressions. Comment below, tell us what you think. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to look out for our full review of this camera when review samples become available.